Hey, welcome back to the S.O.S. Dojo. This is going to be a great lesson because I've used this system for so many years in my career, and I've shown so many people how to be able to negotiate when you hear, what kind of deal can you give me? Now, we've been working on this for the last couple of weeks. Now we're at an area where we can negotiate. Some of you are in a position where there's non-negotiables. It's literally take it or leave it, and that's absolutely okay. You can still use the, hey, I can appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? For everyone watching this video and soon in the dojo, the lesson is going into this negotiation. If you do have any type of wiggle room whatsoever, you've got to go in knowing your limit, all right? The dollar sign starts at zero. It starts at zero. The question is, how far will you go? And when you reach that limit, what is that number? I can't say what that number is. Some people use percentages. Some people use dollar value. All I will say is once you know what the limit is, you know as to whether or not you can play or not. So hear me out. In this context, when somebody says, so what kind of deal can you give me? Or is that my best price? Or what about my price? And examples just like that, examples of that nature. What kind of deal can you give me? I can appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? And so in this context, let's say the limit, just for this example, let's say the limit is $300. I know that some people, there is no limit. But in this example, it's 300 bucks, okay? And somebody says, hey, what kind of deal can you give me? I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? Well, can you knock off a couple $100? So somewhere around here. If the prospect says to me, can you knock off a couple $100? And I have a policy in place that gives me the flexibility to go as far as 300, and they land here. Well, then now what I've got is I've got an ability to negotiate to close. So in this context, it's, hey, what kind of deal can you give me? Appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? Can you knock off a couple $100? So what you're saying is, if I can take $200 off your total invoice, you're going to buy right now? And think, we got this. So what you're saying is, if I can take $200 off your total invoice, you're going to buy right now? And hold until they answer. As challenging as that can be at times, hold until they answer. The beauty of this is knowing what this number is ahead of time. Now, again, this doesn't necessarily have to be a discount. Some of you have the ability to discount. Some of you have the ability to stack value, something that is of value to the prospect who is asking you the question, hey, so what kind of deal can you give me? I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? If they ask for, let's say, an accessory that you may have to offer, or something else that you offer that has a value of up to this number that you choose, you're armed with being prepared to be able to play and come in and negotiate that win-win, because this is all about win-win. So if I use the context now, if let's say the prospect says, hey, Joe, what kind of deal can you give me? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? And they say, well, can you give me $500 off? In this context, they're over $500, or my $300 example. They're over my $300 example. So just with this, I can give them my answer, right? Joe, what kind of deal can you give me? I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? Can you knock off $500? what am I saying? Right? Can you knock off 500 bucks? And don't give up your hand. Don't say, well, no, I can knock off 300, because I can tell you these people who are asking you for a good deal are generally excellent negotiators. Hold your own, come back and say, listen, I can appreciate that you're looking for an absolutely impossible deal. However, I unfortunately can't do that. I am curious though, if there was a win-win that we could come up with in terms of a deal, what would that look like to you? I've still got my hand. I'm still able to ask the question and come back to the table as opposed to shutting the door and letting somebody walk because they're sometimes looking for a little bit of a break or sometimes looking for something of added value. Some of your prospects are looking for something a little extra just to feel like they got something out of the negotiation. Now, that's not everybody watching this video, and that's okay. Be prepared, and by having some kind of limit prior to getting on the call, especially if you know that there is a predisposition of somebody asking you for this question, and if you encounter this ask to buy question often, you have to be prepared in this manner. If you're not, you're going to be losing a lot of money. I've shown literally thousands of people in my career how to use this and be able to stack value and improve their inventory margin, whether it's product or service. It's your inventory. It's up to you to be able to hold margin. I definitely want you to be able to close the sale. I want you to be able to do it in such a way where it's win-win. Your prospect certainly can win without you feeling like you've lost. That's the idea behind flattening out the edges when you hear, hey, what kind of deal can you give me? So before we get onto our next live dojo training, find out what your limit is. And if your limit is 0, that's okay. If you do have flexibility, what is that number? I want to know in the dojo. I want myself or my team, I want you to tell them what that number is so that we can work that through with you. This is a great exercise. And again, what kind of deal can you give me doesn't have to leave you stumped. You also don't have to slam the door if they go over. There's a way to be able to come back and get to here so that you can play. And then there's other strategies within this so that you don't necessarily have to discount. You can stack value. For now, I'll see you in the dojo because I want you to work this with the idea of what kind of deal can you give me? I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? And then we're going to work whether you're within or beyond the limit. I'll see you in the dojo.